Welcome back to the Two Talking Fools podcast. I am Kate.
And I am Shabalicious.
Okay.
I don't know what to say. I could have said Shaba, but
I can't wait to show a photo of you after to the group.
Yeah.
We are just too average. We are the Two Talking Fools. We are just too average, and I mean average girls taking their phone calls to the podcast.
You're welcome.
Well,
it's a chilly morning. It's a nice, refreshing picture it. 2025. Small town USA.
Small town USA.
Crisp air, slight frost on the grass.
I've got
hardened nipples as it's cold.
Yeah, I got a jacket on. Shaba's got her Robin Hood black on.
Yeah.
So she's like, you know what? We need to
incognito.
You're incognito.
But it's Shaba,
cold. You look like the podcaster co-host that you are. You look like I'm just saying, yeah, I don't care what people say. I want to say a lot of things today. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a morning,
It's a morning.
It's a morning. Got the shades on, sitting outside of Dixon's snack shop.
First, we had a very nice talk with the mayor of Cumberland Farms in Stafford. Shout out to him. He actually agreed to be on the podcast,
which is really exciting.
So that'll be fun. That'll be exciting. And we'll probably do it from Cumberland Farms. So we talked to him for a bit, and then we said, you know what, we got to go down to Dixon's. We had to go down to Dixon's here and podcast here because it gets to the point where there's so many people that now know us and stop and want to chit chat, and we have to get these podcasts. Like, you guys are like, did you guys fall off the face of the earth? It's like, no, but people love to talk. I love to talk. So it's hard.
Yeah.
It's like balancing what time we have with like podcasting and then running into people. And I love all that.
Yeah, no, listen, I hear you. I definitely hear you. I don't know. I feel like after talking to people all week, I don't know if I'm like
fried.
Yeah, on the weekends, just all peopled out. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we were talking about this. People are vampires. They are not energy vampires. What did we call it? Yeah, maybe energy vampires. Just in the sense that, like, after a long week, if you deal with the public, you're fucking drained.
Yeah.
And you almost don't want to talk. But hopefully this isn't like talking. Hopefully this isn't like the same draining. No. Hopefully this like fills the cup.
Yeah, fills the cuppeth so that it may overfloweth.
So it may overfloweth.
Of course. For sure, buddy. For sure.
I was thinking for a long time about when the next time we were going to podcast. I was thinking about there's an elephant in the room. I can't deny it. I won't deny the elephant in the room. And I also think that more now than ever, I'm furious. I'm just going to be point blank, but I'm furious, but this is for God to judge. I cannot judge. This is for God to judge. God is going to take handle of this situation.
Sure.
And I'm not an overly religious person, but I believe in God and I believe in Jesus and I believe in all of that. There are no words. There are no words to even express the grief and just the sadness that I have for Erika Kirk and the family and her children. And I don't even know where to begin to unravel or unwrap how severe this is for everyone, Shaba. For everyone.
Yep.
Is this now to the point where if somebody agrees with us, what happens? Is violence the answer just because you don't agree with somebody?
Violence is never the answer. And I don't know, when the news of Charlie Kirk's, when he got shot, I was at work at the time. So like somebody had said that. Somebody had mentioned, oh my God, did you hear?
Right.
And I said, wait, what? And they were like, yeah, it was just announced he was shot. And we're all looking at each other like, there's no freaking way. What? So I'm like trying to find it. And then, of course, information pops up. And no sooner do I just process the fact that this young man had been shot, that he then died. Right. And of course, like, I don't know. I feel like the first reaction was just tears, because at the end of the day, I will say I am a fan of Charlie Kirk's. I am.
As am I.
I'm a fan of Charlie Kirk's. And I think for me, it's not even necessarily political affiliations as much as it is, in my opinion, the message that he's trying to get out to today's youth. I feel a lot of kids, and we've mentioned this too on different episodes, kids are lost, unfortunately. And as parents, as adults, as a society, it's our job to guide them to being productive members of society, right? You get a job, you work hard for the things that you have, you take care of your family. Your family comes after Christ. If you're a true believer and follower, right? Christ, your family, and you give back to your community. And to me, I think that the message that he put out there, I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Okay. You have people that are going to feel differently. And I mean, people feel differently about Biden. People feel differently about Trump. People feel differently about everybody. Okay. Everybody's entitled to their opinions, because I think at the end of the day, if you don't like somebody because you make an assumption based off of something that they say, you're reacting, but you're not listening to hear what they're saying. You're just automatically, they said this, so then that's what that meant, right? I haven't gotten to the anger part yet. And I think I was telling you this, and I was telling a few colleagues and like just clients we had when they asked. I think I'm just numb to it. And that's a scary thing. And I think the reason why I'm so numb to it is because as a society, we've gotten to a point where it's okay for violence to happen if you disagree with somebody, right?
100%.
Whether it's somebody who's conservative that you don't agree with, whether it's somebody who is liberal and you don't agree with, as a society, it's like, this person is this. So because they're that way, they deserve to die, or I'm going to shoot them. Good riddance. That person was, toxic to our society or whatever. And I have never been one to necessarily delete people that I don't agree with or block people I don't agree with. But as of recently, the people that are condoning this man's death, I don't even want to see it. Like, it's not even a simple unfollow button. It's just deleting. Because as human beings, you have to have a moral compass to understand it doesn't fucking matter how you feel about somebody. Violence is never the answer. It's almost like, you tell your kid, right? Somebody says something to you, somebody called you fat, somebody said something about your mom or your sister. You don't tell your kid knock the person's teeth out, right? You tell your child to
right.
You hope that you would tell your child to walk away. You know what I mean? I've always told my daughters, violence is never the answer. They won't put their hands on somebody. I have said, if somebody puts their hands on you,
finish it.
I give you permission to defend yourself.
100%.
But you better not ever throw the first punch or the first hit. You know what I mean?
A grizzle.
So we teach our kids that, but then at the same time, we're okay with the fact that a guy just got shot. Wild to me. And just wild. It's wild. You know what I mean?
Right. And I want to make this incredibly clear because I think it needs to be said. I do not care if you were a fan of Charlie Kirk or not. That is totally irrelevant to me. And in fact, if you disagreed with him, that's fine. If you agreed with him, that's fine. Okay. Aside everything, I might not necessarily agree with Charlie on everything. Okay. Because we're allowed to feel that way. However, with that said, we lost an American, a man, a friend, a fellow human to violence because somebody didn't want to have dialogue with him. They wanted to end him because he was the threat. His voice was a threat.
Right.
And and I just want to say this. If you didn't, we always use Facebook for everything. We always reference that. If you didn't write anything to say, some people just don't like writing on Facebook.
And that's
fair.
Fine. Yeah.
If you didn't write anything on behalf of Charlie Kirk, you're not a fan of him, you didn't write anything, I find that fine.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like, you're demanded to honor him and celebrate his. No.
Right.
I'm just saying have human decency and stop celebrating his death.
Yeah. Somebody was murdered.
Right. 2 little kids. We're all human, I think. I wonder
about that sometimes.
I know.
So much evil in this world that it's like, You know what I mean? And I guess that's why certain things, like people's reactions and shit, that's why certain things don't surprise me anymore. It's like, just because there's just people that are just fucking evil. You know what I mean?
Do you remember that senator? Oh my gosh. And I hate that her name uh, just leaves my mind. I think she was a senator, maybe a congressman. I believe it was out in like Arizona, Colorado. And I think she was, she's a Democrat. And I hesitate because I just don't want, I'm so tired of politics getting involved in moral and ethical things. But again, I was so sad when it happened to her. Incredibly sad. We don't have to share the same fucking views. You know what I mean?
Right.
We don't have to share them.
Right.
We
Okay.
just have to have we just have to be,
Melissa, what was it? Melissa Portman.
no, I'm sorry. I'm not laughing. That doesn't sound like the name.
She was a Minnesota House Democrat leader.
Can I see her picture? It's okay. I know that was asking too much. I believe there was, no, there was another one, but okay, I can't remember what this woman's name was, but needless to say, no. It's just a very sad day for America. I love people that have different points of views. I love people that if you don't agree, that's fine. It's just, I think how we go about it sometimes agitates one another, but I think viewpoints are viewpoints and you're right to this, but, we're Americans. There are kids there.
We're not. We're not. We're not. We're not. I wouldn't even say that all these people are Americans anymore, because I think that we've completely lost all sight of what truly being an American is, and the fact that some of our families immigrated here in order to have the freedoms that we have now. I think people have lost sight of that. I honest to God do. I hate to say that. I totally like understand where you're coming from, and I don't disagree with that. But I think that like as far as like, being Americans and needing to stick together. Yeah. Yeah. I feel differently now.
And the other thing that is kind of wild to me too is like when somebody's killed like this out of just pure anger and hatred,
Hmm.
it isn't the time to have dialogue going back and forth and dissecting what somebody wrote in a comment or this or that, and then getting back into these big arguments. We just lost a life. May we pause for one moment and see the
To acknowledge it.
severity of
Yeah.
what the fuck just happened
Yeah.
here. Because someday, all of us parents out here, for a lot of us, our kids are going off to school, college, doing bigger things. If your kid wants to have a voice and we always teach our kids, have a voice, right? Speak your mind, be independent. Do you wish, do you really mean that if they go off to a college campus and they really get independent and really start speaking their mind? And now it's to the point where you almost have to watch out and be careful because you have a difference of opinion.
I don't think you should. I don't think people should. I don't think people should be scared. I don't think they should stop speaking their minds or stop, educating themselves and having those conversations. I think a lot of what's happening is you have these cowards that are going around and murdering people or trying to murder them, whatever, whatever you want to say. And they're intentionally doing it for one of two reasons. One, to silence them, or two, because they are trying to get something from it, right? So nobody knows what this kid's intentions were. And I say kid because I think he was 21, 22 or
Me
something
too.
that did this. You don't know what people's intentions are, but I hate to say it, a lot of the times these psychopaths, and I will say fucking psychopaths, that do this, a lot of them are doing it because guess what? They're going to be talked about. Their names are going to be plastered all over the news. You know, they're going to get national attention. And like, there's some sick, demented, like almost like adrenaline that these fuckers get from this shit. You know what I mean? I think people should continue speaking up. I think people should continue having that dialogue. I think that people should stay true to their convictions and their feelings. I know that we had agreed when we did the podcast, we would keep politics out of it. So I want to, respect that. The one thing I will say that I heard is that it was said by his wife that the college tours will continue. I'm really happy to hear that because I was concerned that with his passing, people were going to kind of step back. A lot of these public speakers were going to step back. It's like, you turn on the news and you hear people from whatever side, okay? Whatever side. I don't give a shit, seeing things. And of course, you might see it. And I know myself, I'm like, you lying son of a, whatever, when you're
You lying
watching
son of a bitch.
Yeah, whatever you're watching, right? And that's okay. That's okay. But never, ever in my mind have I ever thought that person needs to be shot or killed. Like, oh, I want to go kill this person, so they shut the hell up. Never in a million,
Right.
Never in a million years. So I would say if people, are nervous or people are scared, don't silence yourself. You have a voice for a reason, and people fought for us to have the freedoms that we do. You should continue to use that voice. And do I condone using your voice towards hate or violence or division or anything like that? Absolutely not. Like, obviously not.
I think obviously, but I guess some people now, we just have to really spell it out for them.
You got to spell it out for them. Yeah.
Because otherwise they'll come and tell you that you tried to start a riot.
It's just wild. Like, I had posted, and I kept it short and simple and sweet. And all I posted was, may Charlie Kirk rest in peace, with a dove. And then I said, Father God, please guide us, protect us, and keep us, or whatever it was that I posted. Short, simple, sweet. I got a couple of messages. One was, well, when you have this person doing this, then this is what's going to come of it. And then another person commenting something. And I was like, why didn't you guys just do that publicly? Why did you message me and say that? Just like, let people know the hateful person you are. Like, you know what I mean? Like, say it with your fucking chest. Say it with your fucking chest. Yeah. Say it with your chest.
Just out.
I'm not here for the, let's, side chat message. Like, say it with your fucking chest. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you're somebody who's hateful towards anybody, doesn't fucking matter. If you feel a certain way, say it with your fucking chest.
Yeah.
Like, be open and real about it. It's disgusting, bro. It's disgusting. That's why I don't fuck with a lot of people anymore. That's why I don't. I block and get rid of accordingly. I do, and I won't think twice. Yeah.
Do you remember the CEO of the healthcare, right? Where that Luigi,
yeah.
whatever. Okay. Same thing goes for that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Yes. Health insurance
is a
joke. And there's a lot of reasons for that that we're not going to get into.
Yeah.
With that said, still doesn't give you the God-given right to take anyone's life because you don't like this, that, or you've had issues. But again, I think we have a mental health issue here too.
Yeah, but people were applauding him.
That's the problem. So now you're
applauding him for what he did.
What are you doing? Yeah. You're making these people icons. You're making them celebrities. It's not that, and that's the problem. And you said it. You're like, what they get out of it.
Yeah. It's demented, it's sick. But the wild thing is, and I've said this time and time again, and people are like, oh, it doesn't matter. People aren't going to listen. My voice doesn't matter. That, to me, that's a pussy excuse. Excuse my language. But, it's like, get fucking involved. You know what I mean? If you're feeling that passionate, like I'm saying, say that shit with your chest. Get involved. Like, speak up. Say something. Join an organization. Start a fucking organization. Fucking do something. You know what I mean? Stop running your mouth. Do something. You don't agree with these things, then be a part of helping to make change. It doesn't happen overnight. Like, you know what I mean? I just feel like people talk a lot of shit, and then, some psychopath then decides they're going to go and kill somebody. And then people are like hailing them as like the greatest thing ever because you made a pussy move and went and murdered somebody.
Right.
Like,
and the media plays a role in this, and social media plays a role, and they are
1,000%.
fueling this. And if you people don't see it, like if you,
1,000%. Oh my God.
The algorithm is designed to give you exactly what you want. Fuel your fires, fuel your flame.
I call it now. I'm calling it. And I pray to God I'm wrong. I honestly, I truly, truly, truly pray to God that I'm wrong. I would not be surprised if there was a modern day civil war that happened, because social media, news media, all of that is a huge part of that.
Huge part.
And, there's already a division as it is, especially when you have people that can't even just come together and acknowledge that a human being was murdered and a family lost their husband and father. I think there's a huge civil war coming, and the division just keeps getting wider and wider and wider.
If we want to talk about hatred in this country, if we want to talk about who is putting out the hatred, I think it's time for people to take a look at themselves inward, have an honest conversation with yourself, and honestly
man,
say to
facts.
yourself, are you truly the full of are you truly the kind person you say you are? Or are you just saying that but are full of hatred?
It's true.
And I'm like so disgusted with people. Listen, when you're behind your closed doors, what you say is none of my business. I don't, who you are,
Right.
it's none of my
You're
business.
entitled to that. Right.
The problem is that you're putting it out there on social media for other people to see and fuel other fires and start. What are you trying to do? How do you think this is raising the vibration of our society, of our world by putting out what you're doing, by commenting on what you're commenting, by this, that, and the other thing? I'll go to my grave with this. You can sit and be a keyboard warrior all fucking day. Have at it. That's fine. I'll defend you. That's my right. You have a right to defend me. But the people who criticize our podcast or say, what are you two doing or this, that, or the other thing, maybe you're catching on. The world probably needs a little bit more of this, a little bit more of fucking open dialogue, a little bit more of talking, a
Facts.
little bit more of kindness, a little bit more of
Preach.
getting back to small business,
Preach.
small town, understanding our roots, honoring who we are as individuals and who you are.
Preach.
Things have got to change here.
Preach.
The hatred that people spew is doing absolutely nothing, nothing to benefit this world, nothing to benefit the kids looking or this or that. I don't even know. I'm
Preach.
hurt. I'm so
Tell him, sister.
Erika Kirk, if you ever happen to come across this podcast, I just want to tell you, I am so sorry. And I don't even know. I'm so sorry. This should not have happened.
No.
This should not have happened. Your family should not have had to endure what you're going through. And nobody does. No hatred. The guy the CEO of that health insurance company, he didn't deserve to die. This person, nobody deserves to die out of pure hatred because you don't agree with somebody. It's
Facts.
fucking bullshit.
Facts.
And I'm very upset about this.
Yeah.
You can stay silent. If you don't have anything nice to say, like mommy and daddy or Grammy taught you, then don't say anything.
You know what I saw somebody post? Two things that literally when I say grinded my gears, I just signed off. I just signed off, was the first thing was somebody, a lot of people are saying God bless and protect over his wife and children. You know what some motherfucker said? And excuse my language, I'm swearing because I have to keep it in all week. Somebody said, fuck his wife, fuck his kids, and fuck the woman that gave birth to him. That was somebody's response. That's where we are at with a society, or that's where we're at as a society now. Somebody said that. The second thing was somebody I've known since childhood. Okay. And I'm going to touch on this, and I know this is going to trigger people, and I don't give a shit. Somebody I've known from childhood posted how pathetic it was for Black people to be following or mourning the death of somebody like that with their Uncle Tom asses when this guy is nothing even like us. Okay. That's what they said. That person, unfortunately, had to get deleted. Okay. I don't even engage anymore because people, for whatever reason, are prepared to have these conversations with me because then feelings get hurt. My feelings don't get hurt, but for some reason, everybody else's do. I don't know. It is not, and it will never be a black and white thing. And I think the sooner people understand that, the closer we can get to actually working together and healing. And I know people are like, oh, that's easy to say. That's easy to say. No, it's not. And the thing that frustrated me is that this person that I've known since childhood, okay, had busted her ass to get to where she's at, okay, busted her ass, has a great life, is independent, okay, has a beautiful home that she worked to buy herself, did all these things herself, right? So in the back of my mind, I'm saying, you lived out that American dream, okay? That is one of the things that this young man was trying to preach to people, especially the Black community. And I know you and I have had this conversation too, because it grinds my gears that people, and I say this as a Black person in America whose family immigrated here, it grinds my gears when people are always saying, oh, Black people are tied down, Black people are held down. There's not the same opportunities. We don't have the same rights. We are far beyond, we are so past that. It's not even funny. And to me, for him to share that and be able to have debates with people and say, I'm talking to you as a college educated student right now, right? So you had the opportunity to do that. Okay. You just said this about your parents. So your parents had the opportunity to do that. That to me is why I liked a lot of what he said. Not everything, but a lot of what he said. And I wanted to say that to that friend. And I said, Shayna, there's a time and there's a place. And today is not it. And I just went, delete, delete.
Because sometimes it's just easier to just say, you know what, we're going to agree to disagree here. It's your right, I suppose, to say that. And it's my right to delete you.
Yeah. Because that's just pure ignorance. Uncle Tom, I'm like, I've been called that all my damn life, bro. Like, I don't give a shit anymore.
You've been called Uncle Tom?
Growing up, dude, as a lot of people want to say that when they feel that, you're a Black person. What's the word? You're a Black person in tune with almost like white people. That's supposed to be like a negative connotation, of course, because of the story behind it, right? So, that's what a lot of people will say a lot of times. And, it doesn't really faze me personally, because the way I look at it is I'm focused on moving ahead. These are my goals in life. And you continue to discuss and feel that you're being held down by society. Keep doing that and see where that gets you. Go ahead. See where that gets you. And I know that's going to trigger people. And I honestly don't really give a shit. So, but I think right now we just need to acknowledge that a man was brutally murdered. And I think I even saw somewhere that his wife daughter might have been there.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. I think everything you said is valid.
Yeah.
I think it's a time of just, what are we going to take away from this as Americans, as people who didn't know Charlie Kirk personally, but maybe you like his legacy, maybe you don't, but just as humans, what can we take away from this? And I think it just starts every day with what we're doing as individuals, just being good people, trying to extend a little bit of grace to people.
Fine. Just be a good person.
And I know it's wicked corny, but there's something wrong in this country where whether we're not talking enough, where we're not having coffee talks, or we're not getting together with people. I don't know, it's post-COVID, but even in the grocery store, you see somebody, you give them a smile. How you doing? Give them a warm, a little, whatever it is for you, whatever your potential like language is, extending that throughout the day. For some people, that's literally it.
Yeah.
And I just feel like there's something wrong when somebody can get on a roof at a college campus and just in cold blood, just bam, because you were radicalized or whatever.
Yep. Just be good and do good. Be good, do good, be better, guys. Be good, do good, be better.
You're sure, again, like, you're allowed to have your opinion, but keep your hate to yourself. Keep your hate to yourself.
Love it. Love it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just, there's a lot of things, a lot, you want to do. There's a lot of times you want to react, and I learned from you too. You said, I think you said you learned from me, but I've learned from you is just sometimes reacting. So actually defriending is the best way to do it as far as I'm concerned. And it's not because you're trying to like close blinders off to new insight,
no. Yeah.
but people are regurgitating stuff. They're not giving you new insight. There's very few people that I see that I'm connected with LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook, where they are stimulating my brain. But what I do see, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But what I do see is a lot of regurgitation of the same shit over. It's just a simple
copy paste. Yep, copy paste. That's all people do.
I'd rather you just send me a photo of the plants you got outside. Like,
yeah, copy paste. That's all it is, man.
Copy paste. So, yeah, and I think negativity, I think hatred is toxic, and I think it's a low vibration. I think it's like the lowest vibration that you can experience. So, yeah. So I would say what I would tell you is my advice is, if you feel like you're overwhelmed right now with the feelings and emotions, because again, we all did just see somebody die on really live TV. Somebody get murdered on live TV. And, there's going to always be those arguments. And I've seen it too, where it's like people then share something that is also equally, if not, there's not any more, equally horrendous, whether it's a child, whether it's in, overseas with war and things like that. You're right. It's all fucking shitty, but as Americans, we can only take in so much. All I know is that Charlie Kirk got murdered right in front of thousands of people, and the whole world knew about it instantly and saw it. And yes, there's a million other things in the world too that are equally bad. but this just happened. So that's why we're talking about it.
Thank
It's
you.
not taking away from the fact that
Yep.
September 11th, I felt like I didn't even have it in my system to even be able to acknowledge 9/11 because of what just happened. There's too much. Folks, we're human. We're not computers. 30 years ago, we would never have seen, or for whatever, we would not have seen somebody get shot like that. They would have, the media would have reneged that. But we are getting so used to seeing this type of bloodshed and sexual stuff and all this stuff. We're just getting, it's just easier and easier. And our youth, it's easier for them to see it. They're all getting very numb to this. And I think that's a problem too. And that's the end of my rant.
Yeah.
That's the end of my rant. And I'm real sorry. And yeah, everybody's got, some people, I don't know, Shaba. I've had so much built up, so much emotion around this. There's been so many things. People are agitated, people justifying anger. And I don't understand what's going on in this world because I just don't want to see the world this way.
Yeah. I think, we all just need to be better, do better, and be mindful of who you surround yourself with, too. Be mindful of who you surround yourself with, too. Because if you are somebody who does not agree with what just happened and nobody should, and you are related to or friends with people who agree with that, you need to rethink of the people that you have in your spaces and really reconsider that. Honest to God, you really do. Friends, family, all of the above. You need to really, really do some separating and do some soul searching too. Some soul searching.
Yeah.
Because there's no, Charlie Kirk was murdered, but,
yeah, right.
He was shot, but.
However,
he did say.
He did say.
There's none of that, man. There's none of that. Nope.
There is, right.
Nope.
And so.
There's no buts, howevers, nope.
As a country, how we get stronger and better and go forward and do something is we don't tolerate this. We do not tolerate this. We do not. We make it a conscious effort not to tolerate this type of bullshit.
Yeah.
So these two fools here are not tolerating that type of bullshit.
No,
and
not about it.
I know a lot of you feel the same way. And so we're not here to spread hate. That's not what we do. We're here to bring light. I hope.
I love that.
Yeah. Light and some other things.
Light, laughter, and all of things.
And all of the above. Charlie Kirk.
May he rest
Erika Kirk, and the kids and his whole family. We're thinking of you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great way to end this episode. Dark and heavy, doing some soul searching. You should too.
Leaving people with some stuff to think about.
Yeah.
God bless.
God bless you all. And we love you. And do something. Just be kind. It's brutal out here. We love you. On to the next episode. Thanks.